Hit the record on it?
Yes.
All right. Awesome. Well, hello and good afternoon, everybody. Time is now 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Thank everybody for joining today's TMC Connect web broadcast titled More You Give, the More You Get, and Why Lenders and Realtors Are Deal-Making Powerhouse. Before we kick into the bulk of the discussion here, just going to go through some quick housekeeping items while attendees continue to filter in. So just a reminder to attendees, continue to check out the Mortgage Collaborative member event calendar as well as our TMC Connect site. You'll be able to see a view of upcoming TMC Connect broadcasts, just like this one today, being the fourth of 10 sessions that we've got hosted for this week and the first of 3 for this afternoon. So keep checking in too, as we're going to be continually adding new sessions, predominantly based off the feedback that we're getting from our members and our preferred partners at TMC. So real quickly, housekeeping rules for today's call. All lines have been muted, and that's just to avoid any background noise in your area. Call will be recorded, be available for playback. So access to receive a copy of the recording as well as a copy of the presentation deck will go out to all attendees in a follow-up email you should receive tomorrow. And while lines are muted, we want these discussions to be as interactive as possible. So please feel free to submit any questions throughout the discussion. I'll be happy to verbalize those on your behalf to our discussion leaders. And how you do that? Yeah, you can submit your questions either via the chat function or the Q&A box, both of which is accessible at the bottom of your Zoom screen menu. And then we'll present those out towards the end of today's discussion. And for any questions that we don't get to on today's call, I'll be sure to capture those and share those out with our discussion leaders for follow-up post the discussion. So leading today's call, we have one of our top producing preferred partners within the network here at TMC from Sales Boomerang, the CEO, co-founder, as well as chief ROI booster, Alex just kidding. It's Kasishan. I had to do it, Alex.
All right. We'll take that. That's why I have to drink, everyone. That's why I have to drink. I can't handle this without a drink in my hand.
Good man. Hey, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
Right.
And then with Alex, we've got joined a pair of TMC members, as well as Sales Boomerang champions. So we have Chief Digital Officer at Assurance Financial, Katherine Campbell, as well as Vice President in National Production at Eustace Mortgage, Stephen Barton. Hey, Katherine. Hey, Stephen.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
How do I get a
thanks
fake
for joining
title
us
like
today.
Alex, like Chief ROI Booster? I want a fake title like that.
It takes a little bit of creativity. That's all.
Okay. All right, I'm out.
Well, lastly, I just want to thank each of you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to lead this discussion for the benefit of our members at TMC. And on that note, I'm going to go away till the Q&A portion, but I'm going to turn it over to Alex to kick the discussion off.
Cool. All right. So in case you didn't get to see our faces in person, we wanted to show you another pretty picture of us. That's us. That's us after we've been dolled up and looking real good. Hey, Katherine, Stephen, thanks. This is going to be fun. Let's talk. This is going to be one of the most fun conversations simply because it's you two, right? Both of you don't even need introductions. Everyone sees you guys and knows exactly who you are. So it's me that may need some kind of introduction. So just real brief, right? We're going to be talking about how to, and you can see it in the title, right? How to, the more you give, the more you get, and why lenders and realtors are a deal-making powerhouse. And these two are going to share with us how they're doing it. First of all, you guys need to know that these two are both 20x ROI users with Sales Boomerang, right? So that's number one. Not only are they using it, but they are using it at a high level and have been extremely successful with it. For those of you that don't know what Sales Boomerang does, or real quick as to why we're together here, right? This is our mission, right? No borrower left behind. And this goes and resonates directly with agents as well. We'll talk about that in a minute. And what does no borrower left behind mean, right? It means this. It means that on average, a consumer is going to have 11 mortgage-related transactions, and you, everyone that's listening, and these two have done it perfectly, you want to be there for all 11 of them, which means if you meet them on the first, you got 10 more to go. If you meet them on the 6th, you got 5 more to go, right? So don't treat a transaction as it's the end. Oh, it's not the end, Alex. We are going to pepper them with stuff and they will love us and always come back. well, then I guess the stat of 85% of your active borrowers leave every single year is false. Well, it's not. It's true. The average retention rate in the mortgage industry is 15%, right? So having access to this is exactly what's going to get you to that higher level of retention. But more so, and specifically what we're talking about today, this is how you get your agents producing. And if they produce more, right now, we'll talk about this for a second, and we'll get into all these questions in a moment here, but think about this. Right now, it looks like this. An agent and a LO looks like this. An LO comes with their handout, says, referral goes here, right? Now, and this is what these guys are going to talk about, they go like this and like this because they're carrying opportunities for the realtors. Like, hey, I got all these for you. If you want to bite one of these hands, it's up to you, but I don't think you're going to want to do that, right? And that's what Stephen and Katherine are going to talk about today. And so look, this is going to be unstructured, okay? This isn't like every other presentation that you've ever been to where we're going to be like slide 1, slide 2, slide 3. I believe that we're going to start asking questions, and this can take and manifest into something very special on its own. But we have some really cool questions to ask, right? So these are some of the things on the agenda. In case we lose our way, in case we don't make it entertaining, which I'm sure we will, we'll always be able to come back to these questions and start asking some more things. So let me pause for a second. And I'd love for Katherine to share a little bit about herself and Assurance as a company and your relationship with realtors in general. What percentage of your business is realtor driven and purchase driven, so that people can hear that. And then same thing for you, Stephen. As soon as, once Katherine is done, jump in and say, what about you? How important realtors and by the way, where's your drink, Stephen? I know.
I was required to put it into a cup. Kate told me I couldn't show my drink on this call.
So I like the styrofoam mask of the drink. I've got clear liquids here. Of course, that could be other things. That is true. I've been known to drink other clear liquids. So thank you. My name is Katherine Campbell. I am the Chief Digital Officer for Assurance Financial. I've been here for about 2 years. I am from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where we are based, but I spent 20 years in technology in San Francisco and never would have dreamed that I'd find my way back home after some life experiences in the most exciting technology industry and space we could possibly be in. I say every day, we have seen this evolution of technology in other industries. This is the most laggard one, right? We're already very avid users of other industries like travel and education and everything else. So it's very fun. We're not wondering if people will do this online. We're not wondering how to get technical, and we're not wondering how to engage partners through technology. We are just teaching this industry how to do it here, right? These guys are already ready. So Assurance Financial, we're about just over 100 LOs strong. We are in 9 states. We have another small base out of Charlotte. And I'm just thrilled to share anything that we know about you. We probably have about, as far as what percentage you asked me to answer, what percentage of our business is realtor based, yeah, that is very LO specific. So we have some realtors that literally maybe 70% or more of their business in this very heavy, refinance time that might be more realtor based normally. But some rarely deal with realtors. They are just truly self-sourcing and very active in the community. So.
Got it. So just to be clear, every loan officer or branch or person that works in your organization, they dictate how much business they do, purchase or refi. So there isn't an overarching number that says, hey, we aim to do 40% of our volume from purchase and referral-based business.
Well, I meant the source being from the realtor, and obviously we're going to dive into that. But our purchase business, we're normally 70-30. We are a purchase shop. We have prided ourselves on that for a long time. We started the company, or they did, in 2001, and that has definitely been the success of this company. We've been profitable every single year, and that's not easy to say for people who got through 2018, but that is because we are a purchase shop, yes.
No doubt, no doubt. Wonderful. Thank you, Katherine. All right, Stephen, before you start telling us about your purchase business, please tell us your favorite drink. You've shared this with me. I wonder if that's what's in that cup.
Well, it is, Alex, and thanks for asking and putting me on the spot. But there's a little company based out of Austin, Texas called Deep Eddy's Vodka, and it's starting to make its way nationally. And I'm excited at the last couple TMC events, they actually have it now. And it's called Deep Eddy's Ruby Red. It's great for vodka. It's fantastic. Mix it with anything.
Thank you. I know people were wondering what's inside that styrofoam cup. I know I was.
Yes, no, and I wish I had a really good spiel like Katherine, but unfortunately, we would have been profitable in 2018 if happy hours were canceled, but those kind of coincided. So that kind of drug us down a little bit. And, you know, we're excited to be here, and obviously also from Louisiana, like Katherine from New Orleans, 67-year-old company that up until this year was always hovering around 91% purchase, which was pretty strong this year. It looks like we'll probably be around 78 purchase with even the refis, and sticking to it. And sales boomerang is a huge reason why our purchase business is actually still super strong. So excited to talk about it.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Well, this is perfect. I love the transition. Let's do it. Let's jump into it. So I want to jump into a question that's kind of relatively easy, but I think it's important to ask this kind of, you know, softball question, get this out there. Everyone start paying attention to these answers, because these two really have it down right about how to do purchase and how to use realtors to help their business. So is showing up at closings from your team still relevant? Is that something that's, you know, taking what we're going through right now and even post this, right, post-COVID, is it relevant? Does it help?
You want me to answer first, Steven?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, this is a little competitive edge right here. I wanted to, okay, well, I will say it is considerably less relevant today, depending on how you handle it, okay? You can't go by the LO what they prefer. You need to go by what the borrower prefers and what the agent prefers. If you need to be there based on, you know, either concerns or just that is a very traditional realtor, then you need to be there. There's just no way around that. However, we have a very nice drop ship closing item that's, you know, branded boxes, and you just literally put in the address and it shows up the day after closing at their home. And there's not necessarily as much hand holding due to so much digital signing before they get there. Our average closing these days is 8 minutes because we do use e-closing, e-signature technology for closing docs. So in that 8 minutes, it's like, hey, realtor, get your check faster. You know, you don't have to sit through an hour and a half closing. The client has largely been briefed. Any questions they have is from reviewing the docs up to 3 days before closing that the LO can answer. And so the only real benefit of showing up for closing, other than relationship building, if that's, like I said, needed for those particular people, is letting your clients speak for you. Let's see if I can get this showing up in this Zoom thing. Yeah. So this is a lightning bolt, if you can see it.
Yep, there you go. I kind of see it. Yes.
I don't know if I need to go closer or further. So this says lightning fast closes. And so this is where the one of the, you know, real keys to sort of pitching your business and promoting it is allowing the clients to promote it for you. So if you're closing in 8 minutes, take that snapshot of the client with your lightning bolt there and say, hey, tag me, tag your realtor, tag the company, and you know, we'll give prizes and everything else, and let the client speak to that great success story. So that is one great reason to show up is social media.
I love it. So let me recap before Steven jumps in. I know he can't wait to say something here. So what you're saying is turn it into an opportunity to generate more business by capturing the moment and the benefit of being there rather than just being there to be there. You're saying if you're going to show up, do something with that information. I love that. That's if I'm sitting on the line, I'm making that note right now. Steven.
Yeah, it's about intentionality. So what we did is we re-engineered our entire process. And the closing part is something important. We try to attend at least, you know, 60% of our purchase closings, but we intentionally placed the closing with the selling agent in mind as well. So our process is already designed to update everybody automatically, but we have these high touch points throughout the process for both the buying and the selling agent, where they're getting a different level of service and introduction to things like sales boomerang and things like that. So when we go to the closing, we're actually more strategically trying to get to the selling agent's portion of the closing to be that as well, so that we can grab that selling agent, because usually the buyer's agent really great. But I love what they're doing with the gift. We do that as well, and I think it's special. So yeah, I think it's still really important and relevant.
Awesome. Okay, so hey, take note. It's important and relevant when you have a purpose for it, right? Not just a random, hey, I showed up. That's not what this is about. You're hearing from two of the best that if you're going to show up for a good reason and use something with that information. Let's move on to the next part of this. This is really interesting, okay? This is a study that was posted on Housing Wire about what do agents care about. And the number one thing that they cared about was relevant information. And you can see I put borrower intelligence in that little bar there. But that was the most important thing that the agents care about from the relationships they have with their lenders is relevant information, okay? The least important thing, and I want you all to understand this, right, is the rate. Realtors don't care if you have the best rate, right? That's the least thing they cared about. And then in between there's the ability to get the deal done, which is obvious, right? And responsiveness, which is obvious. Those two are obvious. That's why we didn't put anything in the middle there. But I want to ask you two, okay? This is where someone like us, like Sales Boomerang, becomes really important and really relevant, pun intended. How are you managing the relationship with your realtors in giving them, first of all, opportunities back, and then giving them feedback on the things that they bring to you? How do you guys, manage your relationships? We'll go to Stephen first on this one. And if this is the most important thing, are you delivering relevant information to them? And how are you doing that?
So clearly none of my agents were polled because I hear about rates all the time. Totally acceptable though, totally acceptable. For us, and Alex knows this story because I tell it every time I talk to a referral of his that wants to sign up, is when I saw Sales Boomerang, I stopped him in 3 minutes and said, send the contract, I'm done, I get it, okay? You nailed it. The second thing I did the next day, it's day 2 of post Sales Boomerang.
Post SB.
Post SB. Is I figured out a way to integrate Sales Boomerang not only into our CRM and our process, but then into the agents world. And so we've had a lot of success. We started about 9 months ago, and currently we're at about 100,000 records of agents' databases that we're now actually tracking the borrower intelligence for them as a service. Obviously, they pay for it monthly, but we've really integrated it into our fiber and to our being. It's one of the reasons why I think, obviously rates being low has helped, but we've been able to triple or quadruple our production recently, is because of Sales Boomerang and the way we've used it as a differentiator. When you talked about the 2 hands out coming to our agents, is we don't even ask for business anymore. And we say, if that's what they want the meeting to be about, we just get up and leave and pay for coffee. Because it has to be about something different. And if they're not going to be on the playing field with us in terms of how we view intelligence and this information and building a better world, then that agent will be out of business in 2 years anyway, and we need to go find the next one.
Yeah, I love that. And listen, I'm going to see if this works because me and Katherine did this the last time. If what Stephen just said didn't make your eyes look like this, see, it didn't work. Come on. Almost
You
worked.
nailed it last time you had.
I know. And this time it didn't work. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Yes. Here we go. If what Stephen just said didn't do this to you, okay, if your eyes didn't just open up, Stephen just said, if you want to talk about how much business you're going to refer to us, we're not interested. We're telling you we can refer more business to you. Ding. This is what it should feel like. Listen to what Stephen was just talking about. Stephen and his team are giving more opportunities to realtors than realtors can give to them. So Stephen and the team is like, look, if you're going to try to talk to us about why you're the most important person we can work with because you're going to refer us business, we're not that interested in that conversation. What we are interested in is a true partnership. We'll take your database. We'll give you more opportunities than you ever dreamed of, just as long as we have this relationship. We are your lender. You are our realtor partner. Let's do this together for the benefit of the borrower. By the way, if anyone wants me to continue doing filters, please put it in chat. I don't want to scare people like that anymore. You want me to keep doing filters? Like, I can see Stephen is scared of me right now. Like, he's never seen me like that before. He's like, something is in my drink. I don't know what it is, but Alex just turned into a praying mantis on screen. I don't want that to happen again. Katherine, to you, like, give us an idea of how you're managing this exact like needs and wants from the agent side.
Yeah, Stephen is very smart to do that. So, the biggest thing about intelligence, any BI, borrower intelligence or business intelligence, is not having it, it's engaging with it. And that is a good partner, someone who will engage with what you're giving them, someone who is mutually engaged in the borrower's needs. One of the biggest benefits about Sales Boomerang specifically is that, the whole goal, because, I run marketing as well, and the whole goal of marketing is to engage a conversation with a borrower. That's the whole goal. It may not be the day they're going to move right now, but if something can ignite a conversation between the two of you, it grows the relationship. What's awesome about Sales Boomerang is that the conversation is timely. It is meeting the needs right when they have them, right? And everybody's definitely over the big brother thing, right? We don't necessarily want to call and say, I see that you got your credit pulled at a competitor, right? But we can say, it looks like, it's about, you could be in the market for, we get intelligence, just be honest. We get intelligence about homes that we've worked with before, and it looks like you might be in the market for a mortgage, or you can just say, is there anything I can do for you? I've been thinking about you, right? You can say whatever it is, but you know that the conversation is going to be relevant at that point. There are so many new statistics out. Borrowers today are more savvy than ever, certainly with the tools of online. In the last 10, 15 years, everybody has a mortgage calculator. They do not call a realtor anymore and say, I have no idea what I can afford, to show me around town, right? They've already run those calculators. They've already called and likely gotten a pre-qualification. Up to about 72% of people have at least researched financing, if not gotten pre-qualified before they even speak with a realtor. So that role reversal is very much an opportunity. But having real-time alerts is huge.
So Katherine and Stephen, you both just mentioned something so brilliant. And I think, okay, so here's the story. In 2015, which is when I bumped into this industry, right before 2016, we started developing Sales Boomerang. And one of the things I heard nonstop, and I think you both have heard this story, one of the things I heard nonstop was, hey, Alex, we really need to take care of our realtors. We need to take care of our realtors. We need to take care of our realtors. And I'm like, can somebody explain to me why everyone is obsessed with realtors? And they're like, well, what do you mean, Alex? How could you even ask that question? Realtors are the lifeline to us. Without them, we wouldn't have business. And I would be like, and I was confused. Remember, not coming from the space. I'm like, so you're telling me you can't do a deal without a realtor? They're like, no. And I said, okay, let me ask them a different question. 100% of the deals you get from the realtor, you get done? Well, no, but they have the opportunities. I'm like, well, time out. Hold on a second. First of all, you can't buy a house without you, right? I can only get somebody to show me a house. That's the realtor, and set up all the contracts, but they can't buy. So I was very confused. And so here's what you both just said. This is the first time, by the way, obviously I've heard it from you guys before, but this is the first time I want to make sure everyone digests this injustice and makes it part of their thinking. You do not have to pamper your realtors. That is not a relationship. Okay, that is a pedestal, and you're bringing things to the altar, and you're like, please give me another deal. That's not what both Katherine and Stephen are saying. They're saying, hey, we have a business model. This is how we operate. You want in this circle, you can get in, but we have to work as a team. And by the way, we're going to offer you way more than you think other lenders have offered you. So if you don't want to work with us the way we want to work with you, cut you off. That is not anything I heard for 3 years. Snip them right off, just like the haircut I need, right? Snip them right off. Look, it is literally something for the first time in 3 years that I'm hearing with confidence. No one has ever said to me, I am willing to tell a realtor to quote unquote F off, right? Hey, we're big boys. We can talk like this, right? Nobody's ever said this. The first time I'm hearing this nationally told to an audience that a lender is willing to say, look, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor, we have to go. Would you like some coffee? Or better yet, would you like some donuts? Would you like some donuts? We'll trade you donuts for deals, right? Is that what the game is about? And I think what you guys are talking about is changing it completely. It's not deals for donuts, right? It's let's have a partnership. Let's work together, because if we work against each other, which by the way happens often, let me ask you guys this question. Have you ever heard, or have you experienced, or has anyone ever told you on your team, I didn't get a deal done that a realtor referred to me, and now the realtor doesn't want to refer business to me anymore? Does that ever happen? Yeah, it's happened. How fair is that? Oh, I'm sorry. The person you referred to me had a 480 FICO score, and you're mad at me that I couldn't get the deal done? Let's be honest, right? Now we're trading deals for donuts. That's how silly that example is. So I love how both of you have said, look, we want a process in place. So again, if you guys are going to take notes, this is a great note to take. Don't let the realtor dictate the relationship. Work together. Tell them your plan. Tell them your strategy. And if they want to be a part of it, great. If they don't, that's okay. Walk away. I love that. Both Katherine and Stephen said, walk away. Go ahead, Katherine. I see you.
Well, I was just going to say, to add one piece to that, because you're right, is that the intelligence helps loan officers think differently about, because unlike a pair of women's shoes, right? I could go online for something, grocery shopping, whatever it is, and see a pair of women's shoes and be like, oh no, squirrel, I need those women's shoes right now. That's not what I went online for, but you can make me want those shoes just by flashing them in front of my face, right? That is not the case for a $400,000 home or a $600,000 home or an $80,000 condo. You can't necessarily create a need. However, when a loan officer has the kind of intelligence and they're getting alerts like that on their own database, which is their absolute gold mine, that they can say, hey, look, I'm calling to say you have an opportunity to refinance, but I haven't talked to you in about 4 years. The equity of your home is like a 50% LTV. I'm going to go ahead and prepare some pre-qual docs and send them over to you for review and consideration. In the meantime, if you don't mind, I'm going to have a realtor call you and just show you homes in your area that are available, because now you can afford more home, or what you'd be able to do with that equity. And as long as you have a working relationship with that realtor where you say, look, this is not a hard sell, you don't go in and say, but you got to move. They haven't even suggested moving, so that it's understanding that, hey, these are some deals. If you ever need anything, let me know. I'd be happy to show you these homes, or just anytime you need something. And then add them to that co-marketing partner database, right? So that you're at least expanding their database, even if it's today you don't have a deal. So in the relationship and the conversations, like I said, are timely.
I love it. I mean, again, this is so important. Now, ready? I'm gonna go back a couple slides real quick. Here's a slide. Now let me do this. Ready? Because we're about to dive in here. Ready? We're about to dive in. Here's what we're about to do. I don't know what you guys answered in chat. I didn't even read the chat or what you guys posted. I figured I'm gonna do it. Steven, thumbs up. This is good? All right. Don't get the approval from Steven, which hurts, but it's okay. We have more coming, Steven. Check this out. We're gonna dive in for a second. Check out what we're gonna dive into, okay? What does the customer for life mean? I wanna show you an example, all right? Here's what typically happens. In the mortgage industry, just so everybody knows, and I'd love to hear some stats from Katherine and Steven if you know this about the real estate industry, but in the mortgage industry, the average retention rates are 15%, which means 85% of your customers who are active will leave you every single year, because you're going to retain only 15% of the active relationships every single year. So here's what it looks like, right? Customer for life, part one. You get a deal in 2010, right? Referral from a realtor, you get a deal, you get the loan, they get the home, okay? Everyone's happy. And then this is what the timeline looks like. In 2013, there's a refi opportunity. And without any sort of indicators that your borrower is back in business, both the lender and the realtor have no clue, okay? 2018, now there's a purchase, again, without any sort of indicator. How are you supposed to know within an 8-year window that somebody's going to be ready to do something, right? You don't know. And of course, 2020 comes around and everyone's refined because it's refinance. That's what it looks like without any sort of indicators that you, the lenders, can provide. Let's fast forward for a second, okay? This is us diving deep, okay? So this is a question to you now, all right? What does it mean to be a customer for life? In the first example, you get the first deal and then you hope to get the rest. You're going to do everything you can to figure out the right timing. This is us diving deep in. When you have indicators, you will know that in 2013, they may be perfectly qualified for a refi. In 2018, they're looking for a home, different indicators that show that. 2020, they're ready for an alert, for a refi again. So look at the difference. The old model was you get a deal and hopefully you get more. The new model is lenders get 4 deals, the realtor gets 2. Remember we said you can double production? This is the exact example of that. So let's talk about what customer for life means in a new world where you have these indicators and what sort of support you're giving to your realtors about getting their customer again and again and again. And I'm sorry to layer these questions, and we'll start with Katherine this time. I'm sorry to layer these questions. It's a customer for life question, right? And do you know by any chance statistically how often a realtor gets a repeat customer? Because I hear it's even less than what a lender gets. Do you have any statistics there? And what is a customer life for me now?
I actually do not. Stephen, I don't know if you have those statistics, but I do not know. I would think that's very varying by realtor, but I'm sure there's an industry average. But that's hard to say an industry average. When you think about how many realtors there are, some who do a deal a year, we're more engaged with the realtors that we do at least 5 deals a piece, a year. And if we're doing one LO is doing 5 deals or more per year, then there's goals set, there's engagement set, there's, a plan to work together. Otherwise, there's just so many that do less than that, but there must be an average.
Yeah, and so listen, you opened up, well, first of all, Stephen, do you know that number by any chance?
Yeah, our CRM actually tracks the data for us with both the agents and the clients. So the number of loans we've done, as long as they've been in the system every time, because it communicates with the LOS and registers that. So in our Sherpa, you can pull those reports instantly by agent, by customer, number of loans, number of referrals, all that stuff.
And do you have a percentage? Do you know what percentage of realtors get their customers back? Do you know at all?
That wasn't on your list of questions that you sent either Catherine or I before.
We have a cheat sheet going.
Yeah, seriously. You'd have told us, we would have freaking got the info, man.
I know. And hey, a chief digital officer should know that for sure.
Listen,
I think getting to your customer for life deal, though, that this is going back to digital and exactly what Stephen's talking about, that database management and understanding the data, because relevancy is the name of the game. And so we don't even so much have to say, let me try to call this person because I got an alert. You have all of their data. You know exactly what they've done. You know exactly when they got that credit report pulled or exactly when they just listed their home. You have all the data you need to send the data to them. This should be your home mortgage value at this point. This should be what you're probably paying unless you've refinanced with me since the last time we talked, right?
Right.
These are your options. Here's a realtor. This is just great data. And so, it's a customer loves to know that you're there for them. And that's why regular communications and managing your database and pushing communications on some sort of regular cadence is a great tool just for top of mind. But when you're relevant and timely, there is nothing more wow, surprise and delight for both the realtor and the client that says, right when I needed her, I didn't even have to go find her. She found me, So that's the sort of stickiness, if you will, that keeps a client for life.
I love it. And so let's dig in. You said something very interesting, Catherine, and Stephen, I apologize. This too, I think, was not on the list. But I think it's very important because Catherine brought it up, and I want to know from you, Stephen, if you do the same thing. I believe you do. How often are you setting goals for your loan officers and realtors? Or a better question, how often are loan officers setting goals with their agent partners of what they want to accomplish this year? So Stephen, you, and then Catherine, because I know you mentioned it.
Yeah, so we try to do quarterly. One of the things we're finishing out right now is we're calling it our technology scorecard, and Sales Boomerang is a part of that. And when we roll this out next quarter, it will actually go to our agents quarterly of number of referrals from them, number of referrals from us, right? And the performance of Sales Boomerang and Sherpa together and how that works to be actually able to show them, hey, this is going really well or this is going very poorly. We started integrating that performance meetings with our real estate agents, and it's really changed the culture of the relationship to more reciprocity instead of do what I tell you to because I give you the referrals. And having those accountability meetings is really powerful. Like I said, I fired 4 agents in the last 6 weeks because they're not sending us any deals, and we've sent them more deals.
Wow.
And, not that I want to, I always give them the opportunity to change their ways for their transgressions. But if they choose not to, it's okay. And we just say, hey, we're not a fit. You already have a partner. It's totally cool. There's a lot of agents, a lot of mortgage companies. Let's figure that out. But changing that mindset, and we do that in the initial meetings now. Like we verify before we even go to a meeting if the agent does any production right. We have the system where we can walk into that meeting knowing if it's a producer or not. If it's not, it's tough for us to take that meeting. But secondly, in that first meeting, we tell them quarterly, we're going to be going over this stuff and we need to make sure we're on target.
Okay, so let me understand this correctly. So first of all, you analyze an agent partner before you even walk into that meeting.
Yes.
Excellent. Catherine, you do the same thing?
Absolutely.
Love
And
it.
they can take MLS data, and time is money. And the biggest issue or opportunity for the conversation to sort of help lead the conversation from the loan officer perspective is this used to be potentially your only source of business, right? Other than running around town and handing out soccer field weekend, game business cards, this was it. It's like, I'm not really stuck to you here. Okay. I've got Zillow, I've got digital leads, I've got, a fantastic CRM, I've got marketing automation. Let's work together. And how can we do that?
And so, hold on. So I want to dig in with both of you on this, because this is really fascinating. So first to Stephen, then to you, Katherine. Stephen, you said the attitude from the realtors have changed. Did that change happen because you started referring business to them? Or did it change? What was the change? Why all of a sudden are they like, hey, yeah, what do you want us to do? What's changed?
Well, I mean, it didn't at first, right? They don't believe you, right? When you sit down and say, I have this system that we're going to use to help you grow your business, I'm not interested in great service or low rates or closing on time, because frankly, that's beneath me. That's like walking over a crack in a sidewalk to me, right? So if that's what you're interested in, go call Prime Lending or whoever. But the big deal for me is, we look at it, that setting that initial meeting to say, this isn't for everybody. You have to get all the way in, all the way invested. And we have several other little pieces of technology we bring in with them. But this is the key one. And literally, I'm telling you right now, it is crack. I had an agent who's the top producing agent in the state of Texas for Coldwell Banker, and my brother knew him and set us up, and I gave him to Fushi, who Alex. And I noticed and I called Fushi. I said, hey, this person hasn't sent us a lead in 4 months according to the system, but yet, and I actually sent you this email, Alex, of his stats since January 6th. You have it right now if you wanted to pull it up.
You sent it over?
Yeah, just send it. It's in your email. And this is straight from our system. And this is the number of leads we've sent this agent since January 6th of this year from his own database that he wouldn't have gotten. I know he's closed a couple of them because they know my brother. So I called him and I said, hey, I hope you're doing well. We haven't received a lead from you in over 4 months. And these are the statistics that I'm showing. And we do it actually where on yours, Alex, we break it down into listing alerts, market watches, all of the debt alerts and everything.
Yeah.
And it says you've had 7 first-time home buyers and 8 likely home buyers on here. And I know 2 of them personally, and they closed, and you didn't refer them over.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I used my friend over at Guaranteed Rate, boo. And I said, the deal, man. And he said, what? And I said, you're cut off. And he was like, do not cut me off. And I was like, no, I'm sorry. I said, it's us or nothing. I said, you could use your other guy, but you can't have the technology. He sent us 3 buyers the next day. And I said, if it happens again, I'm not even calling. I'm just shutting you off.
Listen, you know what this makes you? Let me tell you what this makes you. I got a perfect filter for that. Makes you the king. Makes you the king.
Finally, that's what I've been waiting for.
Yes. I will get you this filter. Don't worry. Hey, you can be the king. Katherine is the queen. Stephen is the king. They know exactly what they're offering their realtor agent partners, and they're no longer the jesters. They're no longer the entertainment, right? They're saying, hey.
We have to have a new New Orleans crew. The crew of Sales Boomerang in New Orleans will be the king and queen.
The enforcers, hey, can you guys work on something where Sales Boomerang and everyone that's from New Orleans has a float in the next parade?
I'm in.
Can you pull some strings? I know you both have some people in that town. So Stephen, I love that. I mean, everyone needs to be paying attention to that. If you're on this call and you're looking at this for your team and you're thinking, how do we get unified? How do we get connected? How do we become the same team with our realtors? This is how. Give them more than they've ever given you, and don't act like them. Don't become them, right? Don't be like, hey, keep giving us stuff. But Stephen makes a great point. Hey, dude, we sent you 15 deals. 15, you sent us 0. What's cool? You can work with other people, but you have to get cut off from this. I'm sorry. This is like, we're spending money on this for you, literally. Like, we don't have to do this for you, but we're doing it for you. And you're literally not helping us help you. So Katherine, are you having similar conversations?
I don't, I'm not in the field every day to know that I think the biggest thing we can train to is to, again, engage in the data. The data, it's garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
Or there's, analysis paralysis, right? You have so much data, you don't know what to do with it. So that if you want this LO, Because one of my favorite things is to go to Ello and look at competitive analysis of optimal blue competition and all sorts of Richie May data and say, hey, you're saying rates, if Steven says people are coming to him with rates, you're saying rates are challenging, you're saying your market share is challenging, you're saying that a purchase business is limited. Here's what's actually good market data for you. And this is data that you can take to your realtors, but we are very competitive. We have all the tools, offered for you. We have this sales boomerang tools, and as a recruiting effort and as a management tool and sort of coaching tool, this data is available for them to use to their, best opportunities, but they just have to understand it. It's new. So for these guys, at least, this is all relatively new. And so it's coaching them to using that verbiage and feeling comfortable with saying, if you don't work with me, I'm not working with you. But also they're starting to recognize, the better we do digitally, that this is not their only lead source. They have other opportunities.
So I think this is perfect lead into this question. And look, we're getting close to the end here. And Tom, jump in real quick. Are we leaving time for Q&A?
Oh, sorry, Bud, was on mute for a sec. I don't have any outstanding questions at the moment. So if you want to take it up to the end, more than welcome to.
Beautiful. Just double checking. I know I've seen some activity on chat, all kinds of busy there. So I want to make sure that this is.
They're loving your filters.
You're loving the filters. Hey, listen.
Everybody is.
Good. Glad you all are enjoying it. And look, I knew this conversation will go this way. These two are just brilliant. And, as much as they're willing to share, this is something you all can take to the bank, pun intended. So finally, let's leave it with this, right? As a matter of fact, let's not leave it with this question. Let's go to the end. Actually, let's go over here. Just to us folks. As a matter of fact, let's stop sharing. Let's close this off with a bang. Let's stop sharing. Look, what do you want to leave people with, right? Everyone jumped on this call. All these people from TMC, which we support. We love Tom. We love TMC. We're there. The reason we're doing this is for everyone in TMC because we love that the entire platform there. What do we want to leave everyone with? Like, what is something, besides the wonderful things that you've shared, what is the last thing we can leave everyone with that they can leave this going, yeah, Alex was funny with the filters, but what I really got out of this was this. And so what can we leave everyone with? Let's start with you, Katherine. Like, what is the one thing that's really important? Let's tie in data, agents, loan officers, relationship. What is the one message you want to leave everyone with to walk away with?
Is that COVID-19 just changed everything, right? So everything is going digital. The opportunity to shift the way consumers think, we act, and the way we partner are all different. And it's game on. And we've got a lot of tools in our toolbox over here these days. It's exciting times.
Love it. Great message. Steven, what do you got? What do you want to leave everyone with so we do this right?
I'm going to do a plug here for you. Stop looking at the cost of sales boomerang and look at the opportunity cost you have by not having it. Last year, we closed over $72 million in loans, but we would have lost because of not having sales boomerang. And I think the more you embrace the future and the borrower intelligence and the way things are being done, the more likely you are to grow and thrive through this market instead of just survive, which that sucks anyway.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Listen, you, sir, are wise beyond your years, right? Wise. This is what you grow. I don't. What, Steven? What? It's a beard.
I'm going to get another drink.
That's what I was hoping to hear you say. That's the only reason I did this, is so you could go get another drink. Listen, guys, I'm gonna share a final screen. I want to thank you two for obviously being amazing at what you do, joining us on this call and sharing all of your insights that you've shared, because it is brilliant. Let me go to the last slide here in case anyone has any ways that they want to reach out and connect with us. Listen, you heard from Katherine, you heard from Steven. The way that you build relationships with your agents is you make yourself the most important person in the room, and you build the relationship, right? And you know you have a lot more to offer. Nobody's ever bought a home in this country without a lender, okay? They just haven't, unless they come with cash to the table. That happens 1.00001% of the time, right? So you are the most important. Make sure your agents agree with you. Make sure you guys are having technology, great CRMs. Both of these have great CRMs. Both of these use borrower intelligence. both of these groups help their teams be successful with their agent partners, and then help their agents be successful with their LOs. Take that, take it to the market, go for it, and take Steven's advice. Call Sales Boomerang, have us show you what you're missing from your database, and let us bring something to life for you that you may have been missing for you and your agent partners. Guys, I love you both. You're the best. I honestly appreciate this. Tom, thank you so much for allowing us this platform to share this with the team. Look at Tom. That's a tattoo, by the way. That's not even a shirt. He had that tattoo. Yes. Like he believes in it that much. Doesn't matter what happens in his life. He's now in the lending space forever.
That's right. Tattooed sleeve shirt, never have to change again. No borrower left behind.
That's it. That's it. Tom, thank you so much, man. We appreciate you giving us this chance here.
Well, we appreciate each of you, Alex for the presentation, the awesome filters, and Katherine and Steven for your expertise and your insights. This was an awesome discussion.
Good deal. Thank you very much.
We appreciate it, and we had a blast.
Awesome. We did too. We appreciate you guys and hope everybody joined. Got a lot of takeaways, and hope everybody stays sane. Keep your glass full and have a great afternoon.
That's right. Mine is empty, so I'm going to go refill.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Bye, guys.